Good morning, everyone. On board with Jonathan with you here on this Sunday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo Day, right? If that's the right day on the calendar. But this is a special video today. We hit 500 subscribers last night, and I wanted to do this quick video to say thank you to everyone that has supported me during this journey. It's been a long journey, but I feel 500 subscribers at this point, starting in October of 2023. I'm happy with that amount. I wish it was more, but YouTube it's what you put in, and the hard work that you put at it, I think, will come in time. So thank you for everyone who supported me, who subscribes, who likes, who shares, who comments. That really has helped me during these last couple of months in starting this journey that I didn't really think I was going to start. So to everyone that is kind of returning here, welcome back. And for everyone that's kind of new to the channel, I really appreciate you subscribing and commenting, liking any of the videos that come out. And if you have any questions regarding anything regarding travel and especially cruises, feel free to ask. One of my subscribers, I believe his name is Robert, wanted me to, I don't know if he wanted me to do a video, but he was talking about, I guess, safety and security on board cruise ships. So I don't know the demographic or the type of people that are on my channel. That maybe some of you have cruised before, maybe some of you are looking to taking your first cruise, and maybe I can provide, a 1 to 2 minute discussion about safety and security on cruise ships. I've been on 55 cruises, and I've always felt safe. I felt that the crew are properly trained to deal with any emergencies as they arise. So as part of your first day on board, depending on the cruise line, you take part in a mandatory lifeboat and safety drill, which most cruise lines, I don't know all the different ones, but especially in the Royal Caribbean family, you'll watch a video in your cabin or before you get on the ship, and you'll basically check in with your muster station. Your muster station is noted on the back of your stateroom door. You'll check in with them. They will show you how to wear a life jacket and instruct you to come to this area in an emergency. Regarding lifeboat drills, if anyone knows lifeboat drills and muster drills, same thing. Muster is to gather people, and the lifeboat drills obviously are there to instruct people where to go and in case of an emergency. And the muster drills are absolutely required by law, and it all comes from the Titanic, right? This started back when the Titanic sank in April 15th, 1912, and there was good facts that they were going to do, which they called back in the day a boat drill, same thing as a lifeboat drill, and they never did it. So a lot of people did not know what to do in an emergency. They didn't know where to go. Obviously, a lot of people on the ship, a good majority of them, believed that the ship wasn't going to sink. It was, quote, right, unsinkable. So within 24 hours, I believe is the law of embarkation, you must complete a mandatory muster and lifeboat drill, and this is because of the Titanic disaster back over 112 years ago. Regarding more safety on the ship, obviously you have life jackets. They are in different areas in your cabin. Some newer ships they're under the bed. Some older ships, they're in closets. And if you can't find them, make sure you let your stateroom attendant know. But there are more than enough life jackets and life-saving equipment on board. I don't know if anyone knows this, but obviously if there was an emergency and the signal was given to abandon ship, depending on the emergency and if the ship is actually sinking, usually one side of the ship would be inoperable, which basically means they wouldn't be able to lower the lifeboats on one side of the ship, because if the ship is taking on water and is starting to go down, it would be at an angle where they wouldn't be able to launch on one side. So just so you know, there is the required maximum capacity of life-saving equipment on one side. So in case that did happen where they weren't able to use starboard side versus port, they have enough life-saving capabilities, lifeboats, life rafts, all those things on one side of the ship in case the other side, which they think in an emergency would not be able to be used. Robert also asked about security. What can I talk to you about security? Well, there is a security team on board depending on the size of the ship. Obviously, more security officers on these big mega ships such as, Icon, Wonder, all the large mega ships, and a lot of them, especially I think on Royal Caribbean, Celebrity. Can't speak for Silver Sea because I can't afford it, but those are all the three brands that are part of Royal Caribbean Group. They actually have body cams, just like police officers now. So they have body cams. I can't believe it's come down to that, but they've had them for probably a good 5-6 years, maybe longer. So the security officers are there for your protection. They walk around the ship. They do rounds, and primary duty is gangway duty. They make sure that no one's bringing any illegal contraband on the ship in any of the ports of call that you embark on, and they're trained to different situations that may arise on board. I think the most common one is probably dealing with a drunken guest, maybe a fist fight, something like that. But they're there primarily for your safety and checking all your luggage and making sure that you're not bringing anything that would harm the ship or do any damage to it, such as, bringing an iron, bringing a candle, and all these things that you should know, especially if you've cruised before, that you don't bring those items on board. I don't know if you know about this, but there was a princess cruise ship called the Star Princess. I don't know what year it was, but it was probably maybe 2006, 2007. Someone was smoking on a balcony and they threw their cigarette butt overboard. Don't do that. The cigarette butt did not go overboard. It basically went down another 1 or 2 decks onto another balcony. And if you want to see pictures of it, it literally it engulfed the entire side of the balconies, literally like 150 to 200 balconies. Look at the pictures of, again, I think it was the Star Princess, maybe 12, 15 years ago. And now because of that, you have to be very careful of designating areas of smoking, and obviously there's no smoking allowed on balconies. But because of the Star Princess, that basically made balconies and cruising safer, they've added firefighting devices such as sprinklers and all those things on balconies in case someone were not to pay attention to the rules. But that fire could have, I don't believe anyone died, but it was significant damage to the ship. You could see the entire middle section of the balconies like all burned out because someone's carelessness of throwing a cigarette butt overboard, which you should never do, because you shouldn't pollute the oceans, right? We should be protecting the environment for future generations, but you should never throw anything overboard, especially a cigarette butt. So safety and security on the ship. Security officers are there to protect you and to deal with different situations that may occur on the ship, but they're there to scan you, watch you, go through metal detectors when you come back every day in port, and they do a lot of rounds. They're watching you. If you don't think they're watching you, they're watching you. There's probably 500 to 600 cameras throughout the public areas and through the exterior of the ship. They have cameras going down the length of the ship, back of the ship's side, everywhere, and they have those cameras in case people fall off cruise ships or they intentionally, unfortunately, jump. So they have those video surveillance CCTV camera footage to view when they need to turn over those videos to the authorities. So I've always felt safe. I feel like the crew are trained to deal with the different emergencies. If you've ever been on cruises, to my subscribers, they do boat drills, lifeboat drills, they do crew drills, different times of the voyage where they lower the lifeboats in the water, they test them, they make sure that they are running to capacity, running to where they need in case they need to be full to capacity. And they actually have rations and food and water on board. I think they have to have stuff that would last, 2 weeks in the lifeboat. So it's someone's job to make sure all those items are fresh and they're not expired. So we'll end the video here. Life at sea is very safe. We have the Titanic to thank for that. If you ever heard on board the ship something called SOLAS, Safety of Life at Sea, it's basically was created, I believe, after the Titanic sank, where all these things, if you're familiar with the Titanic wreck, there was a ship that was, I believe, like 5 to 10 miles away that had stopped for the night because it was in a field of ice, and they stopped. And the Titanic was firing rockets to get the attention of the ship because the wireless operator had went to bed and turned off his headset, and the ship was literally 5 to 10 miles away, and it could have saved all the passengers of the Titanic. So SOLAS, I don't know a lot about it, but it was invented, it came into fruition after the Titanic, where they always had to have a 24-hour wireless operator listening in case someone sent a mayday call or distress. And SOLAS basically takes into, if there's ever a ship, no matter where the ship is and they call upon you, it's absolutely the law of the sea that you go and render aid to the ship that's in distress. So there's a lot of a lot of good things came from, a disaster that killed 1,500 people, but the maritime industry is definitely safer because of the Titanic and all those things that came after the disaster of the ship that should have never have happened, or if it did, it should have ended in a much better way than it did. But we have the Titanic to thank for SOLAS, which is, again, safety of life at sea, muster drills, lifeboat drills that are required within 24 hours. And again, the most important thing from the Titanic came that all ships must carry enough lifeboats and life rafts for all guests and crew, and even more some. Not like the Titanic, which I believe carried 20 lifeboats, and that was enough. They're saying it was enough for roughly half. They're saying 1,100 to 1,200 passengers could have survived if they would have filled the boats to capacity, about 65 passengers in each boat. So yeah, that's life at sea and the safety of life at sea and security questions. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer for you. And I hope you find this long video, I talked a little bit here, informative. If anyone is looking to book a cruise that you feel safer booking now. And thank you everyone for watching. If I can get you, hit that like button, comment below, and I appreciate you watching On Board with Jonathan. Here's to the next 500 subscribers. On Board with Jonathan out.